This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. For 125 years, Nordstrom has been part of your story. The stylist who found the perfect outfit for your big interview. The first pair of walking shoes for your 1-year-old. The tomato soup you shared with your sister at the cafe. These are the moments that make Nordstrom, Nordstrom. Big or small, we're here for all of it. Celebrating 125 years with new moments still ahead. Discover it all in Nordstrom stores and at Nordstrom.com.
Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gatorlight, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gatorlight hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer. And back-to-school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday, episode 638 of Coach Unplugged. But before we jump in, this Coach Blaine, we're going to talk to him all week, Tuesday through Friday, about practice planning. I love when I get collegiate coaches and they can give us golden nuggets that aren't necessarily the same. I think it's 2+ hours, so figured I'd break it up. No one's going to sit down and listen to a 2-hour podcast, so I'm breaking it up into small little pieces for you. But before you do that, go over and check out Dr. Dish. They are their machines are durable. If you want a reason to go buy them, they're durable. They can go inside, outside. They'll take really good care of you even in this pandemic right now. So go over and mention Coach Unplugged, and they'll give you $350 off. So we love those phone calls. It's great way to support us. Also go over and subscribe and like. Leave a review if you love these podcasts. That's a free thing to do. But if you really want to help us out, if you want to help the Netflix for basketball coaches, I just had a discussion with a coach, and he's at a competitor of mine, which is fine. I have no problem. There's lots of great resources out there. But I said, I don't think you'll find another resource like ours where you'll get an email response the same day, where you'll find a mentor or someone that's been through what you've been. And if you like these podcasts, you want to support us, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Talk to you soon. All right. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. So Coach Blaine, a fellow state championship coach. So, I feel very
2009. We both did it in 2009.
We did. 2009. That was, I always say the first one is for the school. The second one was kind of for the players. That was the one that Jerron promised. He promised it we lost in 2008, and he promised it in the press conference in 2008 that we were going to win it in 2009. So that entire year was very stressful. Yeah. It was like the Joe Namath thing. But go ahead, Coach. I'm going to have you.
That's all right.
Okay. I'm going to have you introduce yourself.
Sure.
And then kind of give your basketball journey. And then I will I'll jump in and we'll talk about practice planning. We'll talk all sorts of fun stuff.
That sounds great. I appreciate you having me on, Coach. It sounds like fun. My journey, my name is Jim Blaine, and I am currently the head men's basketball coach at Clarke University in Dubuque, Iowa. I took the road less traveled to become a head college coach. It was never something that was really on my radar.
So I know Dubuque.
Sure.
I know Dubuque. So before we go too far, so I know where University of Dubuque is. Where are you guys located in relation to them?
We are. Let's see. We're at all three schools are like you can throw a rock and hit them.
Okay.
So if you go down University, we're kind of
up the hill, right?
Yeah, we're right. You know where Dubuque Senior High School is?
Uh-huh.
We're right across the street from Dubuque Senior.
Okay.
Sort of kitty corner on Clarke Drive, and so we're probably the smallest of the three campuses in Dubuque. But it's
great
it's been
town.
fun.
Dubuque's a
Yeah,
great
it is.
town.
It is. It's a great
town.
college town. It's just a great town. 65,000 or 60,000.
It is. It's a great town.
I still live on the good side of the river, though. I still have my 608 area code. And,
okay, so go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's
so
all right.
you go back to your high school coaching career, and then
yes. Yeah. I actually got started. I was going to college at UW-Platteville, which is only like 14 miles from my hometown.
Yep.
And my high school basketball coach called me and said, we need somebody to coach junior high. Whoever was doing it had got a different job and couldn't do it. I'm like, sure, why not? So that's how it started. And then
tough job to fill. Those are tough jobs to fill, man.
Yeah. And when you're a college kid, man, you're going to pay me $800 to do this. Sure. Why not? It sounds like fun. And as my buddies said, you got the itch, and enjoyed it. Actually started in girls high school.
Okay.
Did some varsity and JV high school girls, and then became the assistant coach at Benton in the early 90s. Moved across to Southwestern to get a head job for 4 years. And then the Benton job came open again. It was 99. They were coming off a winless season. And one of my former teachers, who was the AD, called me and said, we want to hire you because we want somebody I don't want a college kid that we're going to have to hire somebody every 2 years. We want somebody that's going to stay here and do it. So I took it, and we won 1 game my first year, 7 my second, 10 my third, and then we won the conference title. And from there, we won 7 conference titles in 10 years. There was a time, Steve, where it was Madison Memorial, Benton, Randolph, and Cuba City. We had a streak. Cuba City and us had 6 20-win seasons in a row. I think Randolph had 9, and you had 7.
Yeah,
at the time.
I was talking to Mark Miller today too, because he's doing that streaks. Like I think Germantown has the 69. I said, Mark, you need to look into this. But the proudest streak I have of all the state tournament things is we won 14 straight conference championships. Yeah. I believe it. Randolph. I thought Randolph might have done it, but they didn't.
I don't think they did.
No,
we won 6 in a row. We won 6 in a row.
14 is like that's
crazy.
It's crazy.
6 in a row is crazy. 14
yeah, I know.
in a row is off the wall.
I said I don't know if that record's been broken. Maybe Pius Girl. Maybe, but it's like I said, you got to go back and look at that because that's a crazy record.
It is a crazy record. Like I said, we won 6 in a row undisputed, and that's half a decade for crying out loud. 14 in a row is a decade and a half. So.
I know, it's crazy.
And then from there, it was a day after Labor Day, and my phone rang, and it was a friend of mine that taught at Clarke, and their assistant coach had just left late. He took a junior college head coaching job. And they had recruited David Nice, who played for me at Benton for 4 years and had played 1 year at Clarke at the time. And so apparently I was close. They had seen us play because of David. They called me and were like, would you be interested to be a college assistant? And I talked to my wife and my kids, and we live my door to Clarke is 22 miles.
So that probably played into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We never had to. My kids still go to school in Benton. My oldest son is a freshman.
Okay.
This year that played for David Nice, in fact. Okay. So there's kind of a
full circle.
Full circle there, which is awesome. David's one of my favorites. But
at what point did you decide to get out of the business that you were running then?
When I became the head coach.
Okay.
After my year as the assistant, the head coach left and took a job in Nebraska, and lo and behold, there I sat. And became a head college coach, and honestly didn't have any idea what I was doing. Thought I did.
Right.
But then once I became the head coach, it was impossible to run the business. I did it for about a year, as best I could, and it was going to go under if I kept doing that. And I sold it to a guy in Missouri who bought it as his retirement plan, so he's just having some fun with it.
Right. And what didn't you know? What in retrospect, what did you think you knew, and what didn't you know?
Well, what I didn't know was recruiting.
It's the name of the game, baby.
Yeah, and I knew how to call kids up and talk to them. We're all coaches. We're pretty personable. We're going to be able to talk to people. but I didn't know how to begin to find. I had literally never gone to an AAU event until I was the head coach at Clarke. We hired an assistant who had been a volunteer at St. Norbert.
Okay.
And he basically put together our whole recruiting. It's like, here's where we got to go. I had no idea what I was doing and how to organize it or anything.
So
and
here's somebody that I think I know talent, and I think I can see talent, but I don't know. So this is a question I've always wondered, is when you go to those events, it seems, I mean, I can pick out the top 3 kids. That's easy. But I ain't getting the top. If I'm at Clarke, I'm not getting the top.
Oh, no.
How do you differentiate? How do you differentiate in like the one in Rockford? It was like there's so many good players. Like how do you differentiate ability? I mean, it just seems like a lot of noise to me when I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like with the Rockford, when you're talking about it, started with the people that put in their grade, that would put in their GPA and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd start there. As crazy it sounds, like, okay, I'm watching Omaha South play Madison Memorial.
Right.
And if you had your grades in, like, okay, 22 looks like he's a pretty good player. Let's check his grades first. And if his grades are okay, then we're going to take the next step. A lot of times you go on Twitter and see who's offered. I mean, it was the one in Rockford. I was watching a kid from, remember where it was. I thought he was a senior. He was a sophomore. Like, this kid will be all right. He'll be good for us. He's a senior. Right. He's got a couple years. He's going to need to develop a little bit. And I got talking to people. They said, no, he's a sophomore. He's one of the top 6 players in the state. Well, that makes sense. I feel good. I knew he was good. Yeah. But I think, there's sort of sometimes it's size, those 6'7" wings we're not getting. We got to go 6'4", 6'5". Sometimes it's that. And you just kind of know who the really good players are, the D1 guys. And for us to be successful, we got to get those guys that are getting recruited and even in some cases offered by D2.
Right. They just don't want to go to Northern Michigan. They want to stay closer to home. Yeah. Or
they're getting recruited by them, but they fall away. They recruit somebody else instead of him. Or we had a honorable mention All-American this year. He was a sophomore. He's from Dubuque. He was ready to accept a scholarship at Upper Iowa, and he was going to call him on Friday. And on Wednesday, they called him and they pulled the scholarship because they already given it to somebody. And now he was the first team all conference guy for us this year as a sophomore.
Right.
But those are the guys we got to get to win. We got to go get guys like that to win.
And what's your radius? Like, you're not getting Madison kids probably a lot.
No, like for us to get Wisconsin kids, Steve, we've got to get. NAI has athletic money. We have scholarships, but we don't have full rides. Some schools do. We only go to full tuition. Right. So we're going to have a hard time getting that we're not going to get the rotation guy from Wisconsin because he's going to go to a WEAC school. It's going to be so much cheaper. We can go get like Dylan Curry from Kaukauna.
Right.
We can go get him because we can give him a little bigger scholarship because he's going to play for us.
Right.
And right now he came off the bench last year.
So it's similar to it's similar like some of the baseball where you got to, here's your lump. You can break it up kind of the way you need to. Okay. That makes sense.
It's a math and return on investment problem. You said it in terms of knowing who's good and who's not. That's the easy part.
Right.
The hard part for us is we have to be able to spend the least amount of. It's like Moneyball. We got to be able to spend the least amount of money and get the best players.
Right.
And
and part of that is like I was talking to a Holy Cross assistant a couple days ago, and Holy Cross is like my son's going to Middlebury, which is like a top 5 liberal arts school in the country. It's like he got in. That's just like he won the lottery, basically, in my opinion. Crazy hard to get into. Those schools can only recruit 5% of the population that play basketball because no one else can get in. It was the same with the Holy Cross guy. He goes, well, we're just trying to steal a Harvard kid or, maybe, one of those, kids that are up higher, a little bit higher level that we want to get in. And it's the same with you. You've got an academic standard probably, and then you got to look at that. And you have money. Well, that's the thing is you probably can come into the state a little bit because you got some money.
Yeah,
we don't have money
for the better kids, for the Dylan Currys, the other thing we've got is nursing. So we've gotten a couple of kids like Reed Larson from Fenimore who will eventually be a rotation guy, for less money, but he wanted nursing. So that's the one niche, that we've got. But yeah, otherwise we've had our best luck with Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois. My second assistant was a California guy, and nothing against California guys, but every time we brought him in, it just didn't work.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I bet most people don't go, hey, on their podcasts. Anyway, make sure you subscribe and like. Lots of ways that you can help us out that don't cost you one penny. You can subscribe and like and leave a review. We really do appreciate those. Here, you can do that on YouTube. Go over and Cheat Hoops. There's thousands of videos over there. You can use our Amazon link down below, www.teachhoops.com/Amazon. So anytime you do any shopping, especially if you're listening to this over Christmas, we get a small commission, and it doesn't cost you anything else. Doesn't cost anybody anything other than Amazon, I guess. And then helps us with our hosting fees. And then if you really want to help us out, you come over and join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I am here to help. I am here to serve. One of the reasons I got into coaching was help kids, help other players, help coaches. There's no hidden agenda here. We're not playing, but I have been through it. I have coached at every level. I've done those youth tournaments. I've done, won multiple state titles. I know what you're going through. Trust me. And I can help. So let me know in any way if I can do that. And let's get back to the podcast. Right. That's a long way to come, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially if you come in and suddenly, you're actually the sixth man or the seventh man.
Right.
It's a long way to come to sit on the bench and only play 18 minutes.
Right.
And so we stop recruiting from distance. Now that we get a kid from distance every now and then, but it's Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois. The funny part is we really seldom, I think in my years, we've had one kid from Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota's. It would be different. It would be interesting if the WEAC was like NAI or scholarship too. If they were D2, I think it would help everybody. To be honest with you.
Yeah, well, it hurt us. But
it would. But I'm just saying. I think it. I mean, they are literally almost a D2.
Oh, they are. Yeah, it is. It is, and that's the team. Like the team that wins our league, Steve, is William Penn. Here's their starting center this year transferred from Pepperdine. Their starting two guard is transferred in from Oakland, Michigan. And their best player transferred in from one of the Texas, like Texas, San Antonio, or somebody like that, one of the mid-level Texas schools. So that's we finished second. That's who we got to beat. Right. We got to go out and beat guys like that.
And how does your tournament work? How does NAI tournament work?
Sure. We do a conference tournament like everybody else, for us, like our conference champ, our league gets 2 automatic bids.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. So our conference champion gets a bid, and our conference tournament champion gets a bid. And then if like William Penn won both, then the second place team gets a bid.
Okay.
We also got the NAI does a weird thing where, if it's weird or not, but it's different. They give what's called a host bid. And because the tournament's in Kansas City and our conference is based in Kansas City, we got a host bid. So once we locked up second place in late February, we knew we were in. Because worst case scenario was we'd get the host bid. So that's and every conference has it depends how many teams are in your league. Like if you're a league of, I think it's 11 or fewer, you get 1 automatic bid. 12 to 15, you get 2. If you get 16,
and how many make the tournament?
32. Now next year we're going into all one because that was NAI D1.
Okay.
Now next year we're going. NAI D1 and D2 are just combining, so it'll be 64.
And how will that change things from D1 and D2?
Well, I think it helps us because the NAI D1, you could use enough money for 11 scholarships.
Right.
So some teams were given fulls and allotting others here and there. And our school, and this isn't a criticism, it's just what it is. It was like coaching at Benton.
Right.
We're the smallest school, but we don't care.
Right.
We don't give full rides. We only give up the full tuition. So we deal with it, and that's all we can do.
Right.
But now everybody's down to, I believe it's 8. So it brings some of those schools that were fully funded back toward us because we're probably using 6 to 7.5.
Okay.
So it brings them back.
So it might balance the field out some.
I hope so. We'll see. I mean, I'm as a D3 guy that grew up watching the WEAC, the NCAA D3 tournament, and how they would take 4 teams to a site.
Right.
I love that. Like I would go watch both teams play all the time.
Right.
We're doing that next year.
I think that breeds excitement, I think.
Yes. Now the NEI people are going crazy because forever they've been taking 32 teams to Kansas City and playing 5 games in 6 days.
Right.
Well, now it's going to be more like the D3 model. A round of 4, 16 rounds of 4, and then 16 teams go to Kansas
Yeah, but
City.
I think that's going to be better for everybody.
I do too. I mean, I do too. I'm the minority of our group just because, they've been in the NAI forever, and I get it.
Right. And there's probably a big money maker for NAIA to have all 64, but it's better for the schools probably to have that gate and their
Well, yeah, just trying to win 5 games in 6 days. That's crazy.
I know, it's like the old state tournament when you had to win 3 in 3 days. Yeah. It was like, oh my God, it was like whoever had the most strength. Okay, so let's go. Let's talk practice planning.
Sure. Sure.
So why don't you pull up a practice plan? We can talk about that. Do you have anything as you're doing that? Anything we could talk about in terms of
Absolutely.
I would love to know the difference between being a high school coach for the listeners and being a college coach. How that has differentiated your practice plan.
Do you want me to bring the shared?
Yeah, bring the shared screen up. Yeah,
sure.
Do that.
Let's see.
Because I think that's what everyone's intrigued about.
Yeah.
When do you practice?
Okay.
How is it different? How is it similar to what you were doing when you were a high school coach?
Well, the difference is we just get so much more time to get ready.
Right.
I think we practiced 28 times before our first game.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So and in high school, you're practicing what? 10.
Maybe 10. Yeah.
So there's just so much more time you can really take your time and put stuff in and do it over and over again. And, I think you're better at it that way, obviously. I think in terms of practice planning, though, it's the same. Because some thoughts I had written down, Steve, was with practice, you've got to be your personality. Like I said, I grew up around Platteville, and I went and watched Bo's teams practice. I've always said Bo was technique over effort. They were so locked into trying. It was footwork, and not that they didn't coach effort,
right,
and encourage it, but they were technique over effort. And then I went and watched
his entire career. It didn't change.
Exactly. Yep.
If you don't watch his Platteville practices and watch his Badger practices,
same thing.
Exact same thing.
And then I was fortunate to, with my business, I got to go up to about 3 or 4 of Buzz Williams' practices at Marquette. They were fantastic.
Right.
And he was the opposite. They were effort over technique.
Yep.
And again, not that they weren't talking about technique or working on it, but it was all, we're going 1,000 miles an hour. It's just play hard, effort.
Yep.
And I found it fascinating. I couldn't do it. It's not my personality, but it's Buzz's, and
I love Buzz. Buzz has so much freaking energy.
Yep.
Buzz is so real too. None of that's fake with him. It's just, that's so real. Yes.
And stole some great ideas from him. One of them was we did with our team one time when they were doing their 4-man workout. They got 7,000 managers. So
right. Oh yeah.
They assigned a manager to a kid, and he had a clipboard with different things on them. Every time a teammate helped another one off the floor, they got a mark for that. Anytime they high five, anytime you touched one of your teammates in any way, a high five, a pat in the butt, whatever, you got a mark for that. Anytime I threw you a pass and you scored and you point back at me like, hey, good pass. You got a positive mark for that. If they bent over and grabbed their short, they got a negative mark. If they leaned against the wall, they got a negative. Now, we didn't keep track of all that.
Right.
But we had a student assistant for like 10 days. This is second or third year. I said, just do positive touches. We're not going to worry about the negatives. So we did all the positive stuff. Anytime teammates touched, anytime.
Right.
And it was fascinating to see our freshmen were the ones that were more enthusiastic and more in touching, encouraging guys than the older guys. And I had to get after the older guys because I'm like, you're selfish.
Right.
You're being selfish. You're not thinking about others. You're just trying to survive. So
right.
I thought that was interesting,
It is.
High school coaches, I don't know if we could do that, but it's got to be a secret, obviously. So we did it for about 10 days in practice, and I'd love to do it again. It was good.
It's effort. Like I was talking, that was the Holy Cross coach. That's a high school coach now. I'll send you the effort sheet, but he breaks down games and effort. Like he has an effort sheet, and it's crazy. Like it's pluses and minuses. It's like there's at times I think you have to track that stuff just to show them because I don't think they know. I agree. So I that was a couple things I wrote down. And I got this from Kevin East. Until you play your first game, especially on the defensive side, you have to coach in absolutes. It can't be when, Keith says, Coach, if that's a non-shooter, how do I guard him? We're not worried about non-shooters right now.
We're doing it this way. And then when scouting comes along, absolutely. Then you can help in on the lane line drive. You can help from the corner off a guy who can't shoot. Until you play that first game, we try to coach in absolutes.
I love that because it's like there's 18 billion different ways to deal with the ball screen. Like
right.
You basically better pick one and get good at it. And for us, especially when you have like 8 days, it's like, holy crap, what are we going to do? We're going to show and yeah.
Yeah, we do that too. We pick one, and ours is the same. Ours is hard hedge, and then we don't tag from the strong side. So like if it's our terminology is a deuce. If it's a deuce ball screen, is as a close, a shooter in the corner on that same side ball screen. We don't tag off of him, so we don't have that guy go help the post on the roll. We bring it from the weak side. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, we bring that from the weak side. Our theory is we can get there as fast. If our guy's hedging it right, they're not going to be able to make that skip pass. It's going to have to be. It's not going to be easy to get there.
Right. And we'll blitz the screen a lot in high school just because they don't deal with it much.
Sure.
But we talk about touch, take, kind of thing. Like fight through that screen, But it's like you're right. I love that idea, that Eastman idea of like this is the way we're going to do it, because you're trying to get so much stuff, and we don't have the time that you do. But I love that. Yeah,
coaching absolutes, man. It's like we chase every screen. We chase everybody. On a down screen, pin screen, whatever. We're going to chase them. It's what we believe in. Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's us.
Right.
And so we had a kid last year. He's like, well, what if he's like, well, in this situation, I can do this. I'm like, we're not thinking about. We're chasing him.
Right.
We're chasing him because if you do that guy over there that you're guarding shoots 44% from three, he's going to go there and they're going to score 3.
Right.
Because our whole defense is set up for this. So don't, it's like
you can't start. You
try to build some. Yeah, you try to build some habits, I guess.
And okay, so before we get into the practice thing, do you look at the guys' schedules beforehand? Do you know when they're going to? Is there ever a conflict with that?
Occasionally, not very often.
Okay.
We're done with classes by Mondays. I think it's 3:30. Tuesdays it's 3:00. It's Monday.
So it's campus wide. It's campus. Like, no one's running a 6:00 class.
No, there are night classes on Monday and Thursdays that we tell our guys, if you're going to take a night class, take it on Monday, and then we only have to deal with it one day.
Hey, Coach, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, go join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. You want to become a better basketball coach. Let me help you. Where else can you find a mentor for, a dinner at McDonald's, basically? Let me help you. Not only resources and communities and handouts and one-on-one calls and office hours. It's got a little bit of everything that will help you become a better basketball coach. Also, go over, subscribe and leave a review. And if you're going to do any shopping on Amazon, click down below. We would appreciate it. All right. Have a great day.
Thinking about upgrading your sleep? Now is the time to shop Sleep Number. Trusted by millions for nearly 40 years, Sleep Number offers superior comfort, personalized adjustability, temperature benefits, and value that is unmatched in the industry. And right now, during the Sleep Number Labor Day sale, all mattresses are on sale. Invest in your sleep and experience firsthand Sleep Number's personalized comfort. Stop by a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com to learn more.